Thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of the program. I am Veronica Danny Boy.
Good morning, Nigeria. I'm Olamide Odekunle, and I'm so pleased that you're choosing to spend your morning here with us on the TVC Breakfast Show. You're very welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is TVC Breakfast on Thursday. Every time we're here, the table is always full with the right information you require to start your day. Good morning, everybody.
I'm glad you didn't say it was a meal.
No, we don't serve food, but we serve information, is it?
Of course, we are serving information.
Exactly.
And we have pointed out some of the things we'll be talking about this morning, talking about the Nigeria-Ghana relations and the issues around it, as well as what's happening around the people who faced challenges regarding flooding in Mokwa, Niger State. And then we're also going to look at stories on the front pages of the papers this morning, as well as stories that are trending now. But let's begin with this story where stranded Nigerians in Central African Republic, that's the CAR, have finally arrived at the Nigerian embassy in Bangui, the capital. Few days ago, a viral video emerged showing some Nigerian miners calling for help. There was immediate intervention and swift response of officials of the Nigerian embassy and CAR security, who accompanied them from their location to the capital. The journey to Bangui took a number of days with the Nigerian victims of a Chinese national and a Nigerian agent who hired them for work in that country, abandoned them there without paying their remuneration for 11 months. They are now in the safe hands of officials of the Nigerian embassy, who will arrange their return back home. They express gratitude to President Bola Tinubu, the ministers of foreign affairs and staff of both countries. And we also hear that the agent, the Nigerian agent, they lured them into this walk, is in Nigeria and is being investigated, although he has denied all the allegations. And I was wondering how about the Chinese national who also invited them for this job. I hear that the House of Representatives Committee on China-Nigeria Relations are looking into the matter, investigating what happened, making inquiries to know how to address the issues. So I am waiting for the results of this investigation and what will happen to the persons who hired these persons and refused to pay them.
Yes, you see, such casual jobs, workers have to go through an agent. You know, in Nigeria, some people will say your first salary, your first and second salaries will share 50%, and that's how they get paid. But how they do it outside Nigeria, I guess...
For 11 months?
No, I'm just talking about how they do it outside Nigeria is that everything is paid to the agent or the person that sponsored them to that country. And those people are supposed to pay them. You get? So now, the Chinese national and the Nigerian agent should not only be investigated. I think they should be arrested right now, kept somewhere while they are being investigated, because it is completely inhuman. 11 months of work and you are not paid. And those guys didn't abandon that job because it was far away in Central African Republic. If they were doing that in Nigeria, I mean, they would have gone to their villages one by one. But you are outside your country and you face such a predicament. It is very annoying, very, very annoying. Yeah. Thank God for social media. If it weren't for social media, nobody would have heard
that they're going through such a deal.
Of the kind of things that we're going through. And I also want to thank the Nigerian embassy for the swiftness,
the swift response,
the swift response that they did to get these people out of that bad situation. We're looking forward to welcoming them home.
Absolutely. Central African Republic is that country that I recall when there were crises some time ago, we had sent some of our reporters there to cover the crisis. And it's not a place that you just walk in and walk out, or just think that, oh, you can have a field day out, that you think you can be as safe as you are in your country because you're a foreigner, you were brought in there to do something. And of course, they had no other choice than to cry for help as it is. But from your perspective, Olamide, what do you make of this matter forced labor without pay.
It's absolutely appalling that in 2025, team, this is happening. And you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the slave trade, when fellow Nigerians, were in cahoots with foreigners in order to enslave us. And so we're just seeing a modern remaking of this. But my question is this: if a rogue agent can traffic Nigerians, it's clear that we need stronger bilateral labor agreements. We have to protect the migrant workforce that are in host countries. If they're going to go out to work, we have to protect their rights. And in regard to the Chinese being in cahoots with the Nigerians, like you said, Etoma, rightly, they should put them together and gather intel, because this is a very deep network and a very long chain of people that are involved in this. We need more intel about this. Why are foreigners so comfortable maltreating Nigerians in their host countries? Why?
That's the
You know they fear face.
It's a big question, but you wouldn't blame these persons who feel that, oh, this is something for me to do, I can make some monies and send back home to my family. That's the essence of why they decided to make themselves available for this kind of job. But now protection of their rights is the matter here that we need to start addressing beyond the four walls of Nigeria. Protecting the rights of Nigerians outside of this country, especially be it labor, whatever it is another issue we should include in our bilateral relationship.
You know, Veronica, I'm beginning to get a bit sick and tired of hearing Chinese nationals being mentioned almost around every kind of, should I say, legal activities or labor matters. Right from here in Lagos, around the country, we keep hearing Chinese nationals being involved. Why is it always that the Chinese are always involved in matters like this? Aren't they humans themselves? Don't they understand what it means to, should I say, honor or love your neighbor? Treat the next person as you would want to be treated.
With some level of dignity.
It's commercial
Don't they
imperialism.
understand that?
That's what's happening. It's commercial imperialism.
Well, even that be the case. I mean, somebody came to work for you. You employed a person through an agent here in Nigeria. Obviously, you wanted the person to come work for you, and they came, and you didn't pay them for 11 months, left them stranded. They had to then use the means of social media to cry out in a foreign land. They know nothing about this place. Obviously, as you can see them, they know nothing about this place. But you took them there and left them stranded for 11. Do you know what it means to be for 11 months without being paid in a foreign land? Whatever hunger.
In an industry as dangerous as mining.
So it's something that Nigeria, we need to sit back again and what is the bilateral trade agreement between Nigeria and the Chinese vis-a-vis other countries? Do we put our citizens first when it comes to these kinds of agreements? Because, hey, you can't do that to any other national in this country and go scot-free as a country.
Absolutely.
We can't do that.
It's the way they carry out this mining activities brazenly in African countries. In Nigeria, we see what they are doing and how some of the people in these states where they mine have come out to speak and are raising concerns. They just use them as labor for hard labor, and then nothing is done. Yes, in cahoots with Nigerians, of course, because you cannot just come to my house and start using my children without me asking you to do that. So we need to do much more regarding how these people come to take our resources. Did they even go through the right channel in the first place?
That's right.
We need to investigate all of those, even at the Central Republic, Central African Republic. That country needs to do something about that. How are these people having access to our resources in such a way that they are seeking to enforce hard labor on the owners of all of these resources?
And Veronica, let me quickly add this. Sorry, my sister. I did a report in Osun State some years ago about illegal mining.
Lots of
and
lithium
I was there myself.
Right.
Went to a mining site, and I saw with my two eyeballs Chinese nationals being guarded by our own security agencies, refusing me entry into that particular site. Why? Because there was an illegal activity going on there. And so we cannot allow this to continue to further in our own land. They are coming, take, whether them or any other person, take what belongs to us illegally in code with some high-powered persons in government, allowing that to exist. Right. We can't allow that to still continue.
That is completely wrong. The angle I want to look at is when you people are taken from Nigeria to any country with correct documentation, please go to the Nigerian embassy and tell them that, look, we are here, this is the reason why we're here. Let the Nigerian embassy know that people like these Nigerian nationals are in this country.
That's right.
So that when things like this happen, it is easy for the embassy to step in. This particular case is a 1 in a million where the embassy says, these are Nigerians, let's move.
These persons may have been trafficked and so may not have had the right or proper documentation,
yes,
as the case may be, and so they just went because perhaps it was cheap for them, they had an agreement, an arrangement. I think that's what the investigation will expose at the end of the day.
Correct me if I am wrong. I believe that you need government certification and permission to even mine. So who are the government officials that are not following through on the entire process?
On this one, it's Central African Republic.
Exactly.
But in Nigeria, we need to do more to address illegal mining on this matter. We need to address that. But